What is up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here, and if you were watching my stream earlier today, which probably by the time this video goes up is yesterday, I mentioned that we were going to have kind of an announcement today, and I realized the more I thought about it, this is going to be like an announcement that's kind of an announcement, but it's not really a substance. It doesn't have much substance to it. My brain's not working. And I talk for a living, at least at the moment. So anyways, what I basically mean by that is I'm kind of making an announcement to let you know that there's going to be changes in the future. But they're not going to be immediate because stuff has to happen. So for those of you guys who've been following me for a while, you'll know that over the last like 6 months or so, things have kind of not been good financially. We had basically this year has kind of sucked, and it's kind of a catch over from last year. Last year things were tough, but things were okay. And then in March we had the $5,000 charge back from the asshole up in New York, which basically bankrupted the Minecraft server and shut all of that down, which was an alternative source of income for me. And that kind of just spiraled out with a bunch of other issues. It screwed up the tax stuff, which screwed up a lot of other things, and more or less basically fucked me financially pretty badly. And I basically, for a little while there, I wasn't sure, if I was going to be able to, kind of fix it. And then I came up with a solution, but it wasn't really a good solution. And I basically bought myself somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 6 months. And unfortunately, that kind of like messed everything up. What I do for a living basically requires you to be, I wouldn't necessarily say happy, but you have to be able to be engaged, and you have to be able to be focused on what you're doing and, be excited. And, for those of you guys who have watched me for a long time, you've probably noticed a change kind of in content over the past, 6 months or so, because, when you are worried about the future of your life, it's kind of like a cloud that's over everything. And so I've been trying to figure out, kind of where to go from here. And there's a lot of options, there's a lot of, things that I could do. Those of you guys who've been following me know that I just started college again. That's going good. I've been planning on doing a vlog for it, but I wanted to make sure that I was ready to commit to it before I did it. And so we kind of haven't gotten around to that yet. And there's not much to say that I haven't said on stream yet or already. And then, obviously there's things I can do on YouTube, and there's, job related stuff outside of YouTube. Well, the problem is run into is, YouTube is it's not formulaic in the aspect that, A plus B equals C. That's not YouTube. That's not a lot of things in life. And YouTube's one of those things. There's no clear cut way. If there was, everybody would be, Phil DeFranco or Toby Turner or Towley or, Lyric, whatever. If there was a clear method to success, people would do it. And unfortunately, in, this business, there's a lot of things that, kind of fall through the cracks. There's a lot of good commentators, a lot of people that are better than me out there that don't make it. Something like 98% of channels that attempt to, do YouTube and even get a starting, like a foothold, don't necessarily go anywhere. And, unfortunately I did very well initially. And then I kind of hit that limbo phase where, you're not small, but you're not big. And making that transition from, kind of a sort of known internet personality to somebody, that has an actual decent sized following is tough, making that breakout. And, usually there's a lot of methods and things like that you can do it. And I kind of fucked them all up. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. All the issues that I messed up and screwed up on. But basically the announcement that I'm making today, ceiling fan's making noise. 1 second. Sorry about that. Ceiling fan. For some reason, there's a little like drawstring that sometimes picks up momentum and then just clanks back and forth, and it's frustrating. It's funny. I fixed one of the clicks, which was actually one of the fan blades being loose. And then as soon as I fix that, I get this other noise. Drives me nuts. Anyways, so the main announcement that I'm making today is I'm looking for work. I'm going to be updating the resume tonight or tomorrow, and we're going to find some form of alternate source of income, because at this point, the future is not guaranteed. And so I need to hedge my bets. If I can turn this YouTube thing around in the next couple of months or 6 months or a year or whatever, then great. If not, I need to start planning for my future. That's part of what college is about, and we're going to see what we can do. So what does this mean for the channel? I honestly don't know. I have no clue. Definitely not going to stop doing YouTube no matter what. I may stop streaming. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy interacting with you guys, one-on-one. Well, not necessarily one-on-one, one on 200 or one on 50 or one on 25 or however many of you there are. But I don't do streaming. For whatever reason, streaming does not work for me. Never has. There was a brief spike in 2013 where I did well, and it's never grown from there. So for whatever reason, streaming just isn't me. I wish it was. I want it to be, but it's not. Either I just don't have it, my format's not good, the games I play don't do it, which doesn't make sense because other people do them, or it's just my style. And, it takes a lot to be able to sit there and communicate with people in real time while playing a game and doing something. And I think a lot of it has to do with, one, my chaotic schedule, two, my diversity in games. I'm a variety streamer, or YouTuber, I guess I should say. At the best, I'm a variety streamer. At the worst, I'm basically schizophrenic when it comes to playing stuff, and I just bounce around to a bunch of different titles, which doesn't help. But that being said, from a financial standpoint, which is awful because I hate talking about that stuff, but streaming, other than donations, which have always been huge. I mean, you guys support me amazingly. Lupus, Adandra Dark, all of you guys. I'm missing one of the recent ones, Wolf. I hate naming names because I know I'm missing people and it sucks. And I apologize for that, but there's a lot of you that have supported me. I mean, thrown, thousands of dollars my way to help keep me doing what I do. And a lot of that's come from streaming. In fact, 98% of donations, pretty much have come from streaming, which is awesome. Unfortunately, you can't count on donations. You know what I mean? Donations aren't a regular paycheck. And, you don't want to base your career and your lifestyle off of, the generosity of others, because generosity of others is, you guys are insanely generous, but every once in a while you get that month where people got shit they got to do and you're not it. And at that point, you fall back on your views. You fall back on, your ad revenue and things like that to kind of fill that slot. And unfortunately, that doesn't fill my slot at all. My views are not good at all. And they haven't been good for a while. And they've been kind of coming up, and then they kind of come down, and they kind of come up and kind of come down. And just kind of, a lot of that has to do with just me trying to figure out what works. And unfortunately, I basically have to dedicate myself to something for 3 months before I'll know if it works. And that blows, because if it works, then awesome. In 3 months, I'll be where I need to be. If it doesn't work, then it's going to take me 3 more months to figure out something else that works. And I know what I'm good at. I'm good at tips and tricks. I'm good at guides. I'm good at showing people how to do things and being entertaining and humorous. But I have to find something that I enjoy doing, that you guys enjoy watching, and then I can show myself through that. And that's one of the problems I have with streaming is I can do that for a little bit, but I'm not one of those people that can just do it for 8 hours. I run out of gas, I get tired, I get cranky, et cetera, et cetera. Now on YouTube, I can do that. So what does this mean? Well, I'm still going to live stream. I'm not going to live stream as much. Probably gonna live stream just about as much, but it'll be mainly our World of Warcraft rating and, maybe me and Timmy screwing around here and there, et cetera, et cetera. And it may only be certain days. I want to continue to live stream, but financially, I'm not going to have, it's not going to work. I got to eat. So I'm going to be updating the resume, going to be looking for work. My goal is to find a job in the genre of YouTube, video games, community management, PR, marketing, that type of stuff. I have a couple leads we're going to see. A couple of the ones I'm looking at are going to allow me to work from home. And if that's the case, the impact for you guys may be minimal. It may not. It just kind of depends. I have to finish school. I have to find work, and those two things are going to impact the channel. I don't know how much. I may be able to find a part-time job that meets the gap that I need right now and allows me to build experience for future endeavors. It doesn't fuck me because, I'm a 36-year-old grown-ass man at this point that's done YouTube for 5 years. That can be sold very easily, but I need some other experience and some other stuff to kind of boost that. And so I got to start working on that while I do these things. So I am going to be revamping my channel in the next 5 to 7 days. I'm going to be making a choice on something, and I'm going to stick with it for 3 months. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be sending out my resume and looking for a job. I'm probably not going to be doing mini Let's Plays anymore. I will probably keep 1 or 2 Let's Plays around, and they're going to be things I enjoy. And I'm going to do those for fun. I won't necessarily be doing them for work, which means some of the series that you guys like that I haven't been a big fan of are going to die. And we're going to be focusing on things that I can pull, some kind of revenue and some kind of exposure with. And, it sucks that it comes down to this, but, like looking at this last month, and I wish there was a way, I know there's a way for me to do it. Let's see. Looking at the last month, when I look at my videos that have done the best, views wise, which sadly, I guess I can do it. Let's do it revenue wise. That's probably the best one. Yeah. If I just look at it revenue wise, 2 World of Warcraft videos basically crush everything else I've done. So we have 2 World of Warcraft videos that are 3 to 4x everything else. One of my Black Desert Online videos is better than everything else. And then Project High Rise, Project Ozone, and then Skyrim. And there's a couple Deus Ex. Well, there's 1 Deus Ex sprinkled in, but it's practically not worth mentioning. So yeah, for the most part, an OG Skyrim video I made back in 2011, and then MMO guides, and then a little bit of Project Ozone. I won 1 Project High Rise. So that's where the bulk of my funding came from this month. If we do it in views, World of Warcraft, 2011 Skyrim video, Black Desert Online, and then Project Ozone, 1, 2, 3 old school Skyrim videos, another WoW guide, and then my Endurial video. So, looking at that, I'm doing the wrong things. If I want to make a living doing this, I'm doing the wrong things. So I got to find out what's gonna change that around. And I'm basically at this point now where it's kind of like make and break, and it sucks because, like I said, over the past month and a half, 2 months, it's kind of gotten real because JJ was literally paying my bills. JJ was paying my rent for me. I mean, I was paying a good portion, like I'd say 60% of my bills, but he paid my rent. He's paid my rent since May. So, that's that's awful. That's terrible. And I don't want to put my brother in that position. And, now I'm paying my rent, this month. I paid it in August. Everything's fine there. And me and him have worked things out and everything's cool there. It's not like he's happy to help, but you can't live off of your family. That's not cool. And, if I was 18 or 17, that'd be one thing, but I'm 36. So I got to do something. And, eventually I'd like to have a family, maybe not necessarily kids, but, like to have, maybe have Timmy here, be able to support her, take her out someplace, be kind of nice. And, she deserves that. I deserve that. And YouTube and streaming, I love it. I mean, I really do, but I can't hold on to a dream that's not going to necessarily work. So summing it up, I'm not saying I'm done with YouTube. I'm not saying I'm quitting. That's not going to happen. Always going to be doing YouTube. But we may take a step back for a couple days while I figure some shit out. There is no question that what I'm doing right now is not working. And so I have to change that up. And, a lot of you are like, oh, well, do this, do that, do this, go play Gary's mod because that works for, this guy. Go play Dark Souls because it works for Ouroboros. Go play, Counter-Strike because it works for Jericho. There's a lot of people out there that play games that work for them. I got to find one that works for me. And unfortunately, I got to find one that's unique, something that I can get some pull with, something that I can do for a long time and that I enjoy and that I'm not going to burn out on in a week. And then I'm going to have to stick with it. And so let me give you guys a sneak peek of what you're probably going to see. Probably going to be looking at some World of Warcraft and MMO content. Maybe not just World of Warcraft, but MMOs in general. You're going to see some free-to-play games. Things like Paragon, Warframe, Fractured Space, those type of games that have a big following, but not necessarily a ton of YouTubers covering them. and that there's a lot of stuff that people are curious about and want to learn. Tips, tricks, guides, fun times playing around with my friends, things like that. That's what we're going to be focusing on. And it's going to take me a little bit to switch because that's a little different content than what I'm used to. And it's a little bit, it's a bit of a change. Second, you're going to see some reviews. I've posted a couple of reviews recently, 3 reviews so far this month. Most of them have done pretty well. And it allows me to try out different games that I want to try out without necessarily committing to an entire Let's Play. I get to show you guys something because coincidentally, if you look at most of these games, my first video does amazing because you guys want to see what it's about and you want to check it out. And then the second video has about half views. Third video has about a little bit less than half views, and then it has half the views of the second video. So like, for instance, Project High Rise, we got 1,200, 600, 450, 300, 300, 150. So now granted, the 150 just went live today, so that's not entirely fair. That's probably going to pull out around 300-ish views, but you can see the decline there. So the interest, at least for me with Let's Plays, or with you with Let's Plays, is not consistent. There's 1,000 of you that want to check a game out, and you want to go on about your day. So I need to adjust accordingly to that. And, I know there's a lot of you that like certain parts of my content. There's people who like, Skyrim. There's people who like, I don't know, things like Project High Rise or No Man's Sky or Project Ozone or Deus Ex and things like that. And I like them too. But if the Let's Play doesn't do it, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort that I'm putting into something that is going to put me out of business and close my channel down. So what I'm going to be doing, like I said, just to reiterate, we're going to be looking for work. I'll let you guys know once I know what I'm doing there. We're going to be trying out some new ideas on the channel, and we're going to be going in a different direction. Once I get things figured out, we'll post a new schedule. You guys will get videos consistently, either, for instance, let's say we do Warframe, Fractured Space, and Paragon. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you get Fractured Space. Tuesday, Thursday, you get, Paragon. And Saturday and Sunday, you get Warframe, whatever. There will be a consistent schedule for you guys. And then I'll adjust that around the work schedule, and we'll go from there. And then if, in 6 months or a year or 2 years, things turn around. Because at the end of the day, to survive, just on YouTube alone, just on YouTube views alone, which is already hard because of ad block and things like that, you need about 1.5 million to 2 million views. And in the last 30 days, I'm waiting for my analytics to load. Last 30 days, I've pulled 151,000 views, and that's down 2.7% since August. So that's not that bad. 2.7% is basically holding steady, but 151,000 views, that's 10% of what I need. 10%. So, if my average video right now is pulling somewhere between 500 and 1,000 views, I need that to get to 10,000 to 5,000 views per video to make where I need to be. So I got to figure out how to do that. And, at the end of the day, it may not be possible. I was able to do what I wanted to do for 5 years. I got to play video games for a living. I got to, meet you guys, have an amazing audience, and enjoy doing what I do. But I can't live this way. It's not fair to you guys because, when I'm going to bed at night and I'm worried about how I'm going to pay my bills next month, it keeps me up. I can't enjoy myself. It's awful, and then when I record, I'm not having fun. I'm irritable. I'm cranky. I'm worried, sick. There is nothing worse than worrying about how you're going to fucking pay rent. Is my student loan going to get here in time before I owe the IRS $150 because some shithead up in New York did a $5,000 chargeback and took my entire tax money? It's just, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that's like, I need money from you guys. Please help me. I don't want to be that guy. And that's not what this video is about. I'm just telling you guys. I'm not asking for money. I'm not linking my stuff. I'm just letting you guys know what's going on. And, some of you guys are going to take it that way. Oh, well, it is what it is. I can't help it. I've always been honest with you guys. I've always talked to you guys. You guys are basically my extended family. So yeah, we're going to change the channel. We're going to have to find a job. We're going to have to graduate. And we're going to try and change the content up. So, if there's something you guys would like to see on my channel, I'm all for ideas. And I'm not saying I'm going to get done with Let's Plays completely. Like Project High Rise, I'm going to finish that one. I enjoy that one. I enjoy that one a lot. I'll probably record it after I shoot this video. There are other games that I like, and I'm going to enjoy playing those. But there are certain ones that even, like I love Deus Ex, would love to continue playing that series, but 160 people like watching it. Oh God. Even if 10 times the number of people watch that series, it still wouldn't be enough. 1,600 people. The one on September 8th that I listed, 354 people watched it. So, if that was 3,000 people, that'd be fucking amazing. I would be happily recording that daily, but and like I said, a lot of that's my fault. I have a very short attention span. I get caught up with a lot of different things. And I mean, you look at my channel and it's not surprising. You've got Deus Ex, you got Project Ozone, you've got Skyrim, you've got WoW, you've got all these different things. And somebody comes to my channel and they're like, what do you do? Okay, I like that, but I don't like these 5 games. And so since my genres are so, like Project High-Res and No Man's Sky and Skyrim, they're all like on different, and then you've got Project Ozone. They're all in different genres. So people who want to sit down and watch an hour-long episode of Project High-Rise are not the same people who want to watch a 45-minute episode of No Man's Sky. Now, there are some of you that cross-pollinate, of course. But the majority of you guys are in different demographics. And I basically need to embrace a demographic and kind of rebrand myself because it's not going to work. My other problem is schedules. I suck at schedules, always have. And for an extent, or to an extent, some of that stuff isn't necessarily a big deal. If I'm not doing necessarily Let's Play content, I'm doing tips and tricks and guides and things like that. You don't necessarily have to be on a fixed schedule. And that kind of caters to my style a little bit more. But, if you're doing Let's Plays, they got to be consistent. And, not only that, I got to stop playing games I don't want to play. There's games that I will try to play because I know you guys want to see them. And I try to get into it and I get about 12, 15 episodes in and it's just like, they're fun. Don't get me wrong. They're fun to an extent, but no matter what you do, even if you're the dude who's the porn star, that's like the dude porn star who's fucking like hot chicks, there's those days where like, God, dude, I don't want to go to work today, man. Yeah, she's cute, but Jesus Christ, man. Can't we just sit on the couch and just watch some TV? You don't want to feel it. And when you're playing a game that you don't necessarily want to play and you're in that mood, plus you're worried that you're not going to be able to make rent next month. And then, you're having to have that uncomfortable conversation with your brother. Like, well, what are you going to do, man? Cause you're not making any more money. It's like, it's not good. It's not good. So we're in the adult world. Unfortunately, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm an adult. Got to make some big adult decisions. And it sucks doing this. Like, I do not necessarily want to go back into the workforce. There's jobs out there and the jobs I'm going to be applying for, the kind of jobs I want to do. But, if you got the choice of going and working for somebody else or working for yourself and playing video games for a living, which do you want to do? Yeah. Although on the flip side, the one nice thing about this is if I do go back to work and then YouTube just becomes kind of a hobby, I will actually be able to play games again for fun for me occasionally and not just for work, which would be kind of nice. Because when your hobby becomes your work, you lose your hobby, which means you have to find a new hobby because now your hobby's your work. Yeah, it's twisted. It's twisted. So anyways, I guess I want to apologize to you guys for being burned out for the last 2 months because the stress for this has been unreal. It sucks. It's terrible. And then, just the confusion on my end because I've literally been chasing my tail. Like I go to bed at night and it's just like, okay, what are we going to do? How am I going to fix this? What's going to work? I could do Project Ozone. Yeah, the Ozone will work because it's pulling views. Yeah, it's going to work. Blah, blah, blah. We'll do this. 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 And we do a little bit of it and it kind of works, but it doesn't. It's like, fuck. Okay, why don't we do this? Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. And then it doesn't. Or I get another idea or my idea. And that's the problem with depression. You get a really nice idea. Sounds really good at 3:00 in the morning. You wake up the next day. Depression tells you your idea is awful. And then you like counterthink yourself. And then it's like, well, fuck. And it's not like anything else in your life where it's just like, okay, this works. Let's do this. Or let's try this. It's working. Let's continue on. With YouTube, you kind of have to hit the snowball critical mass where you're rolling the snowball down the hill and you hope it catches. Oh, that one didn't catch. Let's try this one. Nope, that one didn't catch. Okay. There we go. And then once it catches, you got to roll with it. And I've had a couple of those, like Hexit back in 2013. That was one of my moments. Skyrim, 2011. Both of those were my 2 moments, and I capitalized on them pretty good, but I couldn't go anywhere with them. Unfortunately, I picked dead-end stuff. Hexit, You could beat that mod pack in literally 5 days. How am I going to build a YouTube channel on a mod pack I can beat in 5 days? Is what it is. Is what it is. So anyways, that's a little straight talk to you guys. Maybe a little too straight talk. I don't know. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I got to be able to feed myself. I got to be able to pay my bills, and I got to be able to make sure that I have a future, because I don't want to be homeless at 37. So, like I said, at the end of the day, the channel's not going anywhere. Stream's not going anywhere. They are going to change. The schedules may change. The content may change, but I'm not going. I'm going to be the same person. Hopefully some of you guys are still going to enjoy watching me, and, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So once I figure out where we end up from here, once I figure out what is going to work, we'll have another video announcement. I'll let you guys know, and we'll kind of see where we end up. But for now, that's about all the information I have. That's about as much honesty as I can give you guys. Unless you guys want to curl up on the couch and cry for a little while. We can have some beers, eat some Oreos. JJ brought he brought these fucking Oreos home. This is cake batter fucking Oreos. What kind of sick bastard makes cake batter Oreos? It's fucked up, man. Anyways, you guys have a great evening. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you did, slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.